Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about digestive disorders. What you call digestive disorders and nutritional and digestive disorders. See, lack of nutrients also some problems will come, and due to infections also some problems will become. Right. So about those problems, about those disorders, we are going to discuss the digestive disorders. What do you call the digestive disorders? We are going to discuss about digestive disorders. Common disorders. Last class we discussed about the colitis, right? Colitis. What is the colitis? The most common problem of the intestinal tract is bacterial viral infections. Bacteria, virus and parasite worms causes infection to intestinal tracts. This infection may cause inflammation of the inner lining of colon. So inner lining of the colon called colitis. Inflammation of the inner lining of the colon. Due to infections, inflammation will come to the inner lining of the colon. It is called, what is called, colitis. The most common symptoms of colitis are rectal bleeding, abdominal cramps, diarrhea. Okay, what are those? Rectal bleeding. What is called? The next one is the abdominal cramps. Diarrhea will become. Rectal bleeding will be there. Abdominal cramps are there. Diarrhea also. The major symptoms of colitis. So, protein, energy, malnutrition we are discussing. Next, protein, when the problem, see, when the diet is not sufficient in the diet, proteins and carbohydrates and minerals, nutrients not there in the sense, we will face some problems. Those are called protein, energy, malnutrition diseases. So, they are called PEM. Indirectly short term what? PEM. PEM means what? Protein, energy, malnutrition. So here I am telling about protein, energy, malnutrition. What is the protein, energy, malnutrition? Protein, energy, malnutrition. Protein, energy, malnutrition. With the protein, energy, malnutrition will be there. So proteins. So these are the protein, energy, malnutrition. Problems are there. Number one, kwashiorkor, marasmus, kwashiorkor, marasmus, and what is called indigestion, constipation. So these all are like these problems will be there. Now only protein, energy, malnutrition we are going to discuss. First, what is kwashiorkor? I am telling. The growing children require more amount of protein for their growth and development. So growing children required more amount of protein for their growth and development. So protein deficiency diet during early stages of children. So in the protein deficiency diet is there early stages of the children. What will happen? There will be malnutrition problem will be there. So children will be suffer with the malnutrition. Okay, such as marasmus and kwashiorkor. So what are the symptoms of children not getting proteinaceous food means kwashiorkor will get. What are the symptoms of kwashiorkor? Stunted growth, changes in hair color, weakness and irritability. What are those? Stunted growth, changes in hair color, weakness and irritability. Irritability means responding nature towards to the stimulus. Over responding nature. So these all the problems will become in the kwashiorkor. So early age children compulsory required proteins. If we are not providing protein and quality food, that will affect their growth and development. So that leads to kwashiorkor. So kwashiorkor, dry skin, pot belly will be like a pot, edema in between on the legs and face. Okay, like this there will be what is called stunted growth, changes in the hair color, weakness and irritability are the common symptoms of kwashiorkor. Come to marasmus. It's a protein and carbohydrate energy malnutrition. Protein and calorie malnutrition problem. So calories not sufficient in the sense protein and calorie malnutrition. So inadequate carbohydrates, proteins and calorie food not taking in the sense, the growing children, they will be suffer with this marasmus. So they are carbohydrate, protein inadequate amount in their diet, imbalanced diet. The symptoms of marasmus: diarrhea, body becomes lean, weak with reduced fat, and muscle tissues become thin and folded skin. So marasmus, the protein, calorie malnutrition or inadequate carbohydrate and protein in the diet leads to marasmus. The common symptoms of marasmus is diarrhea, body becomes lean, weak with reduced fat, and muscle tissues thin and folded skin will be there. So these two are food related, diet related. Protein, energy, malnutrition and marasmus are both are related to which one? The food related problems or the diet related problems. That's why these are called PEM. What is this? Protein, energy, malnutrition diseases. Kwashiorkor marasmus. Kwashiorkor marasmus are the protein, energy, malnutrition diseases or disorders. Next, indigestion is a common. This is different. Indigestion, constipation, these are different. So this is a common problem in the aged people. Okay, those who don't have the physical activities, the indigestion is common. So it is a digestive disorder. Food not properly digested. So food is not properly digested in the sense that will be disturbance to the total systems. So then what will happen? They will feeling fullness of stomach. The feeling fullness of stomach. Next, another one is there. Why this kind of indigestion? There is inadequate enzyme secretion. Enzymes are not secreting properly in the sense that is indigestion. Next, anxiety, food poisoning, overeating of spicy food. Overeating and spicy food, major reasons for indigestion. What is indigestion? It's a digestive disorder which in this food not properly digested, and the patient will feeling of fullness of stomach. So problem is inadequate secretion of enzymes, because enzymes are must and should to digest the food. Next, anxiety and food poisoning, overeating. Because of overeating also sometimes indigestion will be takes place, and because of spicy oily foods also indigestion with food problem will become, this disorder will come. Next one is what? Next one is constipation. Here this is also common problem in the aged people, especially those who don't have the physical activities. So feces retained in the rectum, it will not move properly, and because of irregular bowel movements, and we are not taking fiber food in the sense poor fiber food. Fiber is must and should for the avoiding constipation, but fiber food is not sufficient in the sense what will happen? The fiber food is we are not taking sufficient in the sense that leads to constipation, and lack of physical activity is also main reason for the constipation. Next, vomiting. So this is a because of reverse peristalsis. Okay, in the alimentary canal, generally positive peristalsis means one direction only, from mouth to anus it will be moved. But here reversely peristalsis movements happening in the vomiting case. So this vomiting is what will happen when you eat contaminated food, or what you call that will reach the stomach or ejected through the mouth. Again, that contaminated what you eat, it will be come out through the mouth. This action is controlled by the vomit center located in the medulla oblongata. So this reverse peristalsis vomiting center will be there. This controlled by, this vomiting process controlled by vomit center is there in the medulla oblongata. A feeling of nausea precedes the vomiting. So reversible peristalsis, when you eat the contaminated or food poisoned, okay, poisoned food, it will be ejected through the mouth. What do you eat? This action is controlled by vomiting center present in the where? Medulla oblongata. What is called? Medulla oblongata. So feeling of nausea leads to vomiting. Next problem is jaundice. It's a very, very dangerous disease. The people will suffer a lot with this problem. It is a condition in which the liver is affected and the defective liver fails to break down. So, which one is a condition which liver is affected? Liver, jaundice major problem is liver will be affected. And what will happen? Defective liver fails to break down hemoglobin. Defective liver fails to break down of hemoglobin and to remove bile pigments from the blood. So they are unable to break down the hemoglobin and cannot remove the bile pigments from the blood. Then bile will be accumulated in the blood. Then total skin and eyes and nails all will be converted into yellow color. And not only the liver problem, and due to virus, hepatitis B virus also, this jaundice will be come. So what will happen? So this is one of the reason. Hepatitis virus infection also leads to jaundice. So very dangerous. Liver is the most important. Liver damaged in the sense total systems will be break down. So destruction of liver cells, then fails to break down of hemoglobin of red RBC and fails to remove the bile pigments from the blood. Then liver will be completely affect damage. Then what will happen? Total blood will be with the bile will be there, and as total skin color converted into yellow color. And jaundice not only for destruction of the liver cells, even some hepatitis B viruses also causes the jaundice. Next, liver cirrhosis. Liver cirrhosis means here what is that? A chronic disease of liver results in the degeneration and destruction of liver cells. So it's a chronic long time disease, long duration disease. It's a degeneration and destruction of liver cells. What? Liver cirrhosis. Especially those who will drink alcohol too much. Alcohol addicted people liver definitely will be damaged because of complete disturbance, what you call degeneration, and destruction will be takes place. So degeneration and destruction of liver cells causes liver cirrhosis. What you called? Liver cirrhosis. So this is the most important point. So what we have to do is, then what will happen? Resulting in abnormal blood vessel and bile duct leading to the formation of fibrosis. So bile duct and blood vessels, they are converted into fibrosis. Then what will happen? When the fibrosis happen, it is also called deserted liver or scarred liver. What do you call that liver is called? Fibrosis formed liver, scarred or deserted. Deserted liver or scarred liver. This is a very important. Fibrosis, deserted liver, the mainly due to infection, poison, unfortunate poison, and alcoholism. I said no, too much alcoholism, so leads to liver cirrhosis. They will be die as early as possible because of this liver cirrhosis. Because liver damaged in the sense the living, what you called, is difficult. So liver cirrhosis, degeneration and destruction of liver cells will be takes place, especially then bile duct blood vessels altogether form fibrosis. Then scarred liver will be there. When this will be due to infections or to poison of or alcoholism, addicted to alcohol in the sense liver cirrhosis will come. The next problem is gallstones. You know very well gallbladder is there. Gallbladder stores the which one? The bile. Sometimes what will happen? This bile causes the formation of stones in the gallbladder. Bile is the liver juice, right? Sometimes what will happen? Because of this bile, stones will be formed in the gallbladder. Those stones in the gallbladder only called gallstones we are calling. So why these are forming? Mostly crystallized cholesterol. Cholesterol is there or not? Fat. So crystallized cholesterol only convert into gallstones. Then gallstones obstructs the all ducts, cystic duct, pancreatic duct, hepatic duct, common bile duct. All ducts functions will be disturbed by the gallstones. So gallstones disturbs the secretion movement in the cystic duct. Cystic duct means gallbladder duct. Common bile duct means cystic duct plus liver duct together called hepatic duct together called common bile duct. Even pancreatic duct, duct of Viscerin, duct of Santroni, these all ducts blocked because of these gallstones. Then that is leads to, what's the problem? What kind of problems will come when the gallstones are there? So then what that is leads to a pain in the abdomen. Jaundice, that leads to jaundice because the stuck is there in the movement of bile will be effect. And pancreatitis, so inflammation or infection or disturbances or swelling in the pancreas will be takes place, that is called pancreatitis. What do you call pancreatitis? The next problem is, what is the next problem? Appendicitis. So it is the inflammation of the vermiform appendix. You know very well, cecum starting point appendix is there, that's called vermiform appendix. So inflammation of the vermiform appendix leads to appendicitis, leading to severe abdominal pain. The treatment involves the removal of appendix by surgery. Only one treatment. We have to remove the appendix with the help of surgery. If treatment is delayed, the appendix may rupture and results in the infection of the abdomen called peritonitis. What do you call peritonitis? If the treatment is delayed, that will be dangerous to the patient. So when the pain is there or any inflammation is there in appendix, as early as possible, we should have to give for surgery for removing appendix. So if treatment is delayed, the appendix may be ruptured and results in the infection of the abdomen. So infection, when the delayed treatment or surgery is delayed, then infection will be spread to the total abdomen. So total large intestine and small intestine. That problem is called peritonitis. What is called peritonitis. Peritonitis is a very dangerous. So as early as possible, we should have to remove the appendix. Next, that is called appendicitis. The next problem is diarrhea. Diarrhea, it is the most common gastrointestinal disorder. Diarrhea is most common gastrointestinal disorder. It is caused by bacteria and viral infections or contaminated food and water. When the colon is infected, the lining of intestine is damaged by pathogens, thereby colon is unable to absorb the food fluid. So lining of colon will be damaged by this bacteria and virus. Then what will happen? There is abnormal frequency of bowel movement and increased liquidity of fecal discharges is known as diarrhea. Increased fecal discharges, watery or liquid discharges, that is called diarrhea. Unless the condition is treated, dehydration can occur. So continuous diarrhea is there in the sense total loss of the water from the body. Dehydration will be takes place. So this treatment, what is the treatment for dehydration or diarrhea? Oral rehydration. So oral rehydration solutions are there. So they you can have to give. So this involves drinking plenty of fluids, sipping of small amounts of water at a time to rehydrate the body. So water levels, little amount we have to take with very little time duration. So we have to give 5 to 10 minutes once we have to take the water for this problem. So like this, there will be diarrhea, there will be appendicitis, there will be gallstones, liver cirrhosis, jaundice. These all are the new digestive disorders. Okay, so children very carefully should listen. We are discussing about nutritional and digestive disorders. First one, colitis. Colitis means what I said, it's an inflammation of the inner lining of colon. Colitis means inflammation of inner lining of colon. What are the symptoms? Rectal bleeding, abdominal cramps, diarrhea. Then when the growing children not taking sufficient protein and carbohydrate and calorie food, they will face one problem, that is PEM, protein energy malnutrition disorders. So number one, kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor means when the protein is not sufficient to the growing children, they will suffer with this. So early children, below 5 years children, so the dry skin, pot belly, edema, on legs and face, stunted growth, changes in hair color, weakness and irritability are the common symptoms of kwashiorkor. Marasmus, protein calorie malnutrition. So when the protein and calories not given to the growing children, they will also suffer with another problem, protein energy malnutrition, that's called marasmus. So inadequate carbohydrate and protein, if they are not taking properly, so they leads to marasmus, that leads to marasmus. So diarrhea, body becomes lean, weak with reduced fat and muscle tissues, thin and folded skin. So next, indigestion. So it's a digestive disorder, food not properly digested because of inadequate enzymes, feeling of fullness of stomach, anxiety and food poisoning, overeating and spicy food, these all are leads to indigestion. Constipation, fecus retained in the rectum, it's not movement will not be takes place, irregular bowel movements. When you eat poor fiber food, fiber is less is there in the food, in the sense that leads to constipation. Lack of physical activity is also one of the reason. Then vomiting, reverse peristalsis. What suppose you eat poisoned food, you eat, so reverse peristalsis will take place in the stomach and gut region, so that will be expelled out through the mouth, whatever the food you eat. So this vomiting controlling center will be there in the medulla oblongata, that regulates the vomiting processes. So feeling of nausea leads to vomiting. Jaundice, a destruction of liver cells fails to break down of destruction of liver cells, and they fails to break down of hemoglobin and remove bile pigments from the blood. Then accumulation of this hemoglobin and bile pigments leads to jaundice, very dangerous, damages the all metabolic functions of our body cells. And some hepatitis virus also causes liver jaundice, so very dangerous problem this is. Liver cirrhosis, degeneration and destruction of liver cells. So alcohol addicted people, they will suffer with this kind of problems. So what will happen? The bile duct and blood vessels blood vessels altogether forms fibrosis. The scarred liver and infection and poison, these all are very dangerous problems and causes the liver cirrhosis, alcoholism. Next, gallstones. So bile crystallized cholesterol will be, bile consists of crystallized cholesterol, forms the stones in the gallbladder. So the obstruction of cystic duct and all pancreatic and common bile duct, they all will be affected. So pain, jaundice, pancreatitis means malfunction of pancreas will be takes place. Appendicitis. So you know, see, vermiform appendix is there or not? Suppose any infection in the appendix leads to inflammation of the vermiform appendix, so very severe problem, so much abdominal pain will come. If you don't take immediate action, or if you delay in the surgery for removing appendix, the infection will spread throughout abdomen, that leads to peritonitis. So as early as possible we have to remove the appendix. Next, diarrhea. It's a universal problem. So gastrointestinal disorder worldwide, caused by bacteria and viral infections through food and water. When the colon is infected, the lining of the colon intestine is damaged by pathogens. Then what will happen? The absorption will be decreased, and the water liquidity with the fecal discharge will leads to diarrhea. Liquidity of the fecal discharge is known as diarrhea. Unless the condition is treated, continuous dehydration will be takes place. What is the treatment? Dehydration opposite rehydration. So ORS fluids we should have to give, and every few minutes once we have to drink water for rehydration point of view.